Hey, thank you all. Um, just a moment. I don't have my glasses on. How can the school district work with the Escambia Children's Trust to improve student success?
All right. So the Children's Trust is somewhat complicated, at least in my mind, because it's not directly funded through the school board, but we have two board positions on it, one of whom is the superintendent, and the other one, at least right now, is Mr. David Williams. But it's had some issues, and I don't think those have been exactly undercover. As of about February, Lindsay Cannon is now in charge of it, and I feel like it's going in the right direction. And from everyone I've talked to, it seems to be turned in a new direction. The fact that it's associated with a sales tax, it'd also be, I think, especially in this one, a good idea to get with the county commission, as some of the things that the commission used to fund when the trust was begun is no longer being funded, so all of this gets put in together. But I do feel like we're going in the right direction. And so in order to, I guess, get the trust going even more forward, we need to support programs that are working, revitalize the programs that are not, be fiscally responsible with how it's being spent. And we do that from the two seats that we have on the board through the school board, not as a school board, I guess, directive itself, because we don't have that power. It's not, I guess, owned by the school board, if you will. So we can't use it for teacher raises. We can't use it to go fund somebody's football team. We go through their board. So I guess that's how I would look at that one. But we do need to work in conjunction with them on making sure that programs to help children are used appropriately and helping the most children possible.
The Children's Trust, great organization. It was a referendum that was supported by our community. So therefore, we have community buy-in. They did a needs assessment, and they're still continuing to do needs assessments to find out what are some resources in town that can fit those needs. So we have children that are coming in that need childcare. That's one of the major issues. Childcare, education, very close to their heart. So we want to help support them. Now, currently we do have two positions on the board for the school board that attends. So it's a great partnership, and we want to continue with that.
I think there's a lot of reason to have hope in the direction of Children's Trust. It's so important to our community. It's so vital. I think we should have hope that Lindsay Cannon's doing a great job. I think the school board having two seats on that body is paramount. I would bring in the county commission more. I've attended those meetings regularly, and one thing that I haven't seen that I would like to see is more business input. So you have so many great stakeholders throughout the community, whether it be our three hospitals, our great healthcare systems, Florida Power and Light. I'm a big advocate of bringing in business to provide that oversight at every turn, to provide more stakeholders a microphone to be able to come in and provide input. But again, I do believe that there's reason to have hope. I have faith in Lindsay Cannon, and having two board members on that at any given time is always a positive. So I think good things are happening, better things can happen, but more oversight's always a great thing. Good question.
Escambia County Trust is meeting a great need in our community, and it is headed in the right direction now. They'd had some difficulties to begin with, but they're moving along. Here's what I would like to see them concentrate a little bit more on, maybe as a challenge to them. I know we have two members, the superintendent and Mr. Williams, on the board, but what I would like to see is them to pay more attention to literacy issues. Literacy issues are so important. If you let a child get to the third grade and they're behind, say they're at the first and second grade level, the percentage of losing them and them not graduating from high school is so high. So we've got a large pot of money here. And that large pot of money, and I'm sure the superintendent is doing this, and Mr. Williams is pointing out that anything that they do where they put that money that pertains to early childhood literacy would be a great big plus. Because we have so many children who start school who aren't ready. And so if we can target some of those children and get them to a point where they're better, then we spend a much greater chance of them succeeding rather than them not succeeding when they get to pre-K and kindergarten. Whether it's a program that encourages pre-K education, whether it's a program through a daycare center, or it's through a project and grant, however it is, encouraging that early literacy is very important. Thank you.
Escambia Children's Trust is a Marxist LGBTQ++++ affirming institution funded by theft, and I don't believe that the public schools should be partnering with them. They are enemies of Christ, which you can tell by their affirmation of the perversion of marriage. God gave us marriage as a picture of Christ's relationship with his church. That's why it's between one man and one woman, and when you blur those lines, you're messing with God's wedding picture, and that is a very serious thing, and I do not want to partner with enemies of Christ.
Something just struck me. Why are we letting kids get to the 3rd grade and can't read? Why are we allowing that to happen in our school system? They deserve better than that. We can do better. Now, the Children's Trust also has a county commissioner, Lumen May, and David Williams, and Keith Leonard. You know my relationship with Keith Leonard. Lumen May and I share that. We both coached teams for the Salvation Army. I won the first national championship 14 and under in basketball for the Salvation Army. Lumen May won the second. He and I are good personal friends. David Williams and I coached with each other at Pensacola High and coached against each other in basketball. I knew David's father, Hollis Williams. Now, we can make a difference with the Children's Trust Fund, but they have wasted some money, people, and they have wasted a lot of money, and not a whole lot of good gets done. I'm telling you what we need to do before we give any organization any money. Say, identify who you're going to help with this money. Tell us what your goals are, and tell us what's going to happen if you don't accomplish those goals. I'm all for the Children's Trust Fund. I'm all for the children. But I want to know, what are you going to do with that money? Where's that money going to go? And what's going to happen to you if you don't accomplish these things and we don't see some real success? I want to make sure you don't get that money again, and we're going to funnel that money where it does the most good for the most kids and for this community.
There's some things that money can't fix. And we've got a crumbling foundation. We talk about 57 to 67 counties. When my kids started school, all enrolled in Scenic Heights Elementary at the same time, Escambia County School District was number 5 in the state. So when my kids started, they were number 5 in the state. And now, when they finished, they're 57. That is, in aviation terms, an inverted flat spin, okay? And now, we can throw money at stuff, but we have a bigger problem, and it's actually a spiritual problem. The breakdown of the family, the revision of the family. When the foundation is destroyed, we're told, what can the righteous do? We need to rebuild the foundation. Now, what you measure, you can improve, and I'm all for that. And these corridors of concern and overlaid with money trying to target these areas, that's a good thing. But money won't fix everything, and you're never going to get if you have a spiritual problem, it's not going to be fixed by money.